Hello and welcome to Impact Africa, our online talk show where we get to have conversations with diverse people and organizations who are impacting lives positively. Yes, this is me, Dr. Kemi Adebayo, also known as Mama K. And in today's program, we are going to be having a conversation with this amazing, beautiful, kind, hardworking Edupreneur Mrs Shirley Okharedia. I want to make sure I get it right. I'm terrible with pronunciation. Even my Nigerian is I should be given some, but never mind. She is the founding executive director for Temple School, which is based in Lagos, Nigeria. My dear sister Shirley, how are you today?
Wonderful. It's lovely to see you.
I know it's been. I don't even know whether we can remember from passing in Sunnyfields and we're going to talk about Sunnyfields.
I hope we do at some point.
Let me ask you. Let's start with who is Shirley? Who is Shirley? Where were you born? Where did you school? Family? Who is Shirley?
Shirley Okharedia is married to Mr. Rivers Okharedia. I grew up in Lagos, Nigeria. I'm the daughter of Dorothy and Walter Gilbert. I lived and schooled in Lagos, Nigeria.
Wow, so you're Lagosian.
I'm Lagosian.
You can speak Yoruba?
Very well.
Okay. Call you Bajena. So born and bred
doing work in Lagos, got married here, had all my education here, my children here, my life. It's been in Lagos all this while.
And your parents, are they born?
They were not born here.
Okay.
They were born in Rivers State Anambra State.
Right.
For my father,
Okay.
and so yes, a mix from the two of them.
River and Anambra.
Yes.
Okay. So can you speak the local language?
I can speak Igbo.
You can speak Igbo?
Can understand. A bit of the Rivers dialect. I was not enough.
Okay.
They would tell me easily.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
So where did you study? I know you started Sunnyfields.
I started at Sunnyfields Primary School.
What year was that?
Can I remember?
I know, right? I'm taking you back. Okay, who are your classmates?
Rolly,
okay.
Ududi,
Okay. So that probably was 1976.
Yeah.
And 78 sets.
78 sets.
77, 78. We were the same set. What am I even talking about? 77 is a long time.
Yes, it's been a long time. Because
Correct. Wow.
So that was the beginning.
Okay, so were you a Surulere lady?
I was a Surulere child.
Okay, where in Surulere?
Anjorin Street.
Okay.
Yes, so that was where we grew up, and we pretty much went not too far from school. So we walked to school through the primary school years.
What impact for you did Sunnyfields make for you? Let me start with that one.
It started
Did you ever see yourself, becoming a school owner as well at that time? Probably not.
No,
I know I'm asking too big.
No, it was more of a place to enjoy my life.
Okay.
I thoroughly enjoyed primary school. I enjoyed the atmosphere. Sunnyfields was a wonderful school, and I think it still is. So yes, that was the beginning for me, and it set the tone for even what I'm doing today, because upon reflection, I see that they had the right environment. They had the right environment. I liked the way the teachers related with the students. I liked the way the children enjoyed themselves. And so for me, as I veered into education, those memories helped to build what Temple is today.
We'll come to Temple at some point. So after Sunnyfields, where
Queen's College.
Oh, you went.
Okay.
QC. I don't know. Some of us were not. We were not in QC. Shout out to my life people. Don't mind all these QC people. And then Federal Government Girls College, Shagam.
Yes. Shagam was good.
So you went to QC.
I went to QC. I did my O levels there. I did my A levels. I think I was pretty much a well-behaved child because I ended up being head girl.
Oh really?
Yes.
Wow.
So yes.
So a lot of people will know you.
Yes, a lot of people.
Yes.
When
so
I
you stood out as a leader.
and right from the onset. Right from the onset. So I enjoyed my time at Queen's College. I enjoyed the respect of my teachers, the respect of my fellow students, and it was also part of the building, the foundation, the building blocks that have brought me to where I am today. You know, the opportunities that they gave me to show the leadership skills I had. It's part of what has brought me here.
So after Queen's College, where next?
I started off with University of Nigeria in Nsukka.
Okay.
I spent 2 years there, and where I studied sociology and anthropology, and I transferred after 2 years because my family wanted me closer to home. So I came to Unilag where I finished.
Great! You know, I don't want to say anything.
Great!
Okay, let me not go there. Okay, so you went to Unilag.
Yes, I finished up at Unilag, 2 years at Unilag, where I finished from the sociology department. Even though I later went back to Unilag to do my postgraduate studies in education.
Okay.
So yes, that's where I anchored deeper into the passion I already had for education.
So what was your first job?
My first job was actually teaching. Yes, for the youth service. Interestingly,
where did you serve?
I served at a school in Ikeja.
Okay.
Yes.
You really love Lagos, eh? You came back to the waiting now.
Honestly, Lagos has just been a blessing to me, and I to Lagos.
Exactly.
Yes. So yes, my first job was teaching. My youth service was teaching, and I continued with teaching, and I did that for like 12 years thereabout. Yes, and then
what subjects were you teaching?
I was a primary school teacher.
Okay, so
yes, but later on, towards the last few years of my stay at the school, I moved into the secondary part of the school.
Okay.
I taught history. For about 2 years, and then I left to start Temple.
So let's go now to Temple. What? Why? You know, when did you start? You know, was it a case of just going from teaching, you know, now saying, oh yeah, I want to just start a school? How did that vision, how did it happen, and when was it started? And what led you into education even?
Having taught for the number of years I had taught for 12 years, I had stayed long enough with children to know that honestly, that was what made my heart beat. Working with children, you know, the little ones, the teenagers, I thoroughly enjoyed my time with them. I was a loving but firm kind of teacher. So I found that even the teenagers respected that, and you know, we got along very well. That even till today, long after, years after, some of them are in their 30s, late 20s, and they still remember their time with me. So it was that love for the children, for the work, the passion for it, the joy I derived from it, the many training opportunities I was also exposed to was what made me say, listen, if I do want to venture out on my own, it had to be in education. And so in 2004, in 2004, Temple School started, and we started at where you went initially, the early years school.
Yes, because I went there first. Okay,
yes. That's where we
started. That's what everybody sees.
That's what everyone sees
on the corridor road.
That's right. That was where we actually started.
Okay.
And in 2009, we moved to this place.
Right.
So we started very small. We started with about 7 children.
Wow.
Absolutely loving upon them, loving their time with us, and I would just not trade that for anything. It was wonderful. And the growth just came over time, you know, just doing what I love doing, and it grew. So
and how was it at the beginning? Because obviously for you starting off, and just making that decision to say, okay, I want to go and do this on my own, and then you found the space and land. How was it, finding even a team to work with you? Because I'm sure at that time you were probably the one doing everything, at that time.
When we started, I realized that so when you work for someone and when you venture out on your own, they're two different things. So when I was working as a teacher, I rose to the position of vice principal and head of the primary school. And what I was exposed to was having everything done for you. The generator would come on when there was no lights, the bus driver was there, how they were paid wasn't really our responsibility as head. And so the nitty-gritty of how to run a business was, I didn't have it, I didn't know it. All I had going for me was the academic knowledge, the instructional knowledge, the recruiting, the training part of education was what I did. But the business side, I had zero. Left to me, I would have run a charity business because I didn't know that I thought everybody came from wherever. Just, and so it was a shocker, should I say, when I started and I realized that, okay, you need students to pay fees, to pay bills, and my saving grace, honestly, was my husband.
Right.
He was.
So he has been hands-on.
He has been hands-on right from day one. So incidentally,
he saw that vision.
He saw the passion. He saw when I decided to start, and he saw how committed I was. He kept, sometimes he would see me 3 a.m. in the middle of the night. I am typing away, I am researching, I am putting things together day in, day out, week after week after week. He was so, I've not seen this kind of passion anywhere else. I've not seen someone so driven. What is driving you? What is this? I said, I just want to do it well. And so straight away he said, look, anyone who has this kind of passion, I want to buy into it. And that was how he joined, up with me. And thankfully he was there to handle the financial business side of it. And while I did what I liked doing, what I loved doing, which is working with the children.
You know what? We'll have a break and we'll be right back. So, my dear sister Shirley, Lagos born, studied, went to Sunnyfields, Queen's College, not the high school for us, and then went to Nsukka, and then finally came back to Unilag. Then, you started teaching and of heritage in terms of Rivers State and Anambra State. Wow, what an embodiment you are already, and the fact that what you said, starting temple in 2004 with 7 children. Where are they now? Do you keep in touch with them?
I absolutely do.
Okay.
They're working.
Right. Okay.
They're working.
Right. So do they come back as alumni?
Oh yes.
Okay.
Oh
Are
yes.
they involved?
Oh yes. They are very involved. They once in a while we ask them to do videos and tell us what they're doing.
Right.
And they send those videos over and we show the rest of the students and to see, their
There's
life at the
this
temple school.
possibility.
Yes, wonderful. All kinds of great things they're doing.
We started with where you started before.
Yes.
This is where the early
Years.
is. So now you have this other premises which is a bigger premises.
Yes.
So was there a need? Was there a growth thing? And you stayed at primary level, and you're thinking of secondary school, or you stayed at primary?
Okay, when we started, we actually started as a nursery primary school.
Okay.
And we grew. We outgrew the space and we tried to do some extensions within the premises, which we achieved, and we outgrew that space. And so we had to come to this place. And when we came here, we introduced a secondary school as well.
Right.
So this building was actually meant to harbor both the primary and the secondary school. And it did for a couple of years for the secondary, until we got a visit from the Rivers State Ministry of Education that said they would rather primary and secondary students don't stay in the same premises. And so thankfully we found somewhere off Adeni Insurance.
Okay.
That's where we have our secondary school.
Okay.
It's actually a much bigger premises.
Oh, really?
It has
Okay.
a massive pool, it has football field, it has basketball courts and volleyball courts. It's just the ideal space for secondary. So they moved in.
So you have 3 premises?
I have 4.
Oh, 4.
Because
Okay.
after the secondary school, because of space too, we outgrew the space we had for secondary school, and so we decided to set up an A-level school.
Okay.
So we have an A-level school in Okwebi.
Wow.
So
I didn't know all
school,
this.
oh yes.
Right.
A-level school in Okwebi.
Right.
So they do the OSSD, that's the Ontario, secondary certificate of school, further education.
Right.
In Canada, they do the exams here. The education is also done here. We do the A-levels, we do the foundation, we do the WAEC.
And so
all
you are open to any learner that wants to come. So it doesn't need to be a temple, learning, for that. Okay, wow, well done.
Yes, we're open to all that want to, whether you're coming from the Nigerian system, or you're coming from the UK or from America, we have provision for all of them.
And you follow the British international system.
That's it, that's what we follow. That's what we follow. But when you get to the college, depending on your pathway,
yes,
that's when we channel your education specifically to where you want to go to.
Wow. So what's the population like? Because obviously the next growth I'm thinking is university.
I've had that a few times.
Oh, yeah, right, you see? I'm prophesying for you.
So it's a lot of work, and the population it's space-based,
Right.
So it's a space we have that we would say we have outgrown, or we are occupied, or we're almost filling up. So this section we haven't outgrown it at all, because we
and class size roughly
small.
Small.
COVID made it smaller. We had bigger class sizes until COVID.
Right.
So when COVID happened, we had to reduce the class sizes to give enough space. So now we would say 15 is about the number we have in class. Yes.
In terms of one-on-one relation with the teacher.
Even some classes about 12, and that was a COVID thing.
Right.
But yes, that's what we have. So now we have more than enough space to grow into in the primary school.
Okay.
Our population is still under 1,000.
That's still a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. And the secondary?
Oh, no, I'm talking of the whole school.
Oh, the whole school altogether.
All
that's still good.
Together.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's
Secondary, they're under 500.
Right.
Yes, but they're good for that space where they have.
So what are some of the challenges, that I know you said earlier before we went on the break, you have no clue about business, you just were a passionate teacher who saw the need and had the dream, to work with children. What are some of the other challenges in terms of up till now from 2004? What has been your biggest challenge?
The challenge, I would say, one, staffing. With staffing, you find that you need to train and retrain and keep training, and you cannot buy or infuse passion. You have to have it or you don't have it. So when you don't have that passion, it's difficult. If you have a member of staff who just wants a job,
just want to be paid.
Yes, just want to be paid, and you just do the job and you go. For temple school is different. You have to have a passion. You have to want, not just for you to have a job, but for the children in your care to get the all-round experience that we want them to have. And you have to have it in your spirit. You have to have it in your bones. It has to show in all that you do that your priority is these children. So we find that that's a very difficult thing to come by. Some it just comes naturally to them, but a lot of them it doesn't come natural to them. They want a job, they studied education. A lot of them actually studied education because that was the course that they could fund. And so there was no interest. And so they just fall back, okay, let me have a certificate, let me teach. And so when they come, they're like, no, this is not the place. So we have to organize lots of training sessions. Thankfully, COVID also opened up a lot of online training.
Right.
Because with COVID and the lockdown, lots of we went online, so a lot of things had to happen online. So there are lots of trainings online that we have to, the British Council supports incredibly so with training, and so they have all of that to do. Plus other things that are specific to different departments apart from the general, like the facilities department. If you want, part of the beauty of a school is also the maintenance of the facilities. So a lot of times people look at one side of it and they don't see the other. You have to, and the cost of running a school, I didn't anticipate that cost. I didn't think, like I explained earlier, that having been a teacher and a head somewhere else, I didn't. Someone else picked up the bills. I didn't get to, really know what was happening. But when you weigh the cost of running a good world-class institution, it is money. You have to have the funds. And so for us to achieve that, thankfully my husband, who is a chairman also, incidentally, he's a chairman of the board of governors, he studied business administration. He studied economics, so he had the know-how. So we were able to approach banks. That's another thing. You have to have very good accounting and very good record keeping and a very good relationship with your banks. Because the growth of Temple School is tied securely to the banks that supported us.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yes.
That's awesome to hear. Because sometimes we hear that banks don't, they're even the ones who stop a growth of a business. So it's good to know that you had
absolutely.
And I believe probably because your husband had the background, the banking background, the economics, business, and you have the education.
Yes.
So obviously
it worked well. Absolutely worked well. So that was one area that helped our growth.
Right. So what are you mostly proud of? What are you mostly proud of for Temple?
The products, our products, our children.
Right.
They are incredible. I look at them and I'm so proud. Some mornings when I go to visit the secondary school and I see the students all tall, and I remember them
because you definitely have them.
I've seen them transit, primary, secondary, and I'm looking at them. They're taller than me. They're all confident, outspoken, and it just amazes me. Sometimes when I see them when they have programs and the way they project the school outside, inside. Actually, we call them temple ambassadors.
And they are.
And they have been wonderful ambassadors of the school.
Wow.
So yes, that's I think
that's
what gives me my
awesome.
greatest joy when I look and I see the products.
And I know some of the results, some of them are because I have a cousin's, a lot of cousins' children actually attend Temple, and I know how they brag about their results proudly.
Yes.
They do very well and excel very well. But you know what? We'll be right back for more.
Oh.
I love the way you said an institution of excellence, a world-class institution, which I believe is what Temple is. Now let me go now. Let me zero in on you now. I know we started knowing about where you were born. Now we're going to what you do and as an educator and an entrepreneur. What are the 3 important things for you that you value most in life? What are the 3 things for you personally?
For me personally, what I value the most is my relationship with my Maker. I don't think about it. That's the one thing that keeps me happy, anchored, and succeeding. The second thing that brings me joy, my relationship with my family. My family. And finally, the job. The job I do, I will not trade it for anything else. So those 3 things are the source of my life.
So your faith, your family, and your job, your work, your passion. So what motivates you? What keeps you going? Why are you doing this? What is it those 3 things as well, or what keeps you going?
I think it's just those 3 things. And most importantly, because when you have a job that keeps you happy, that's exciting. Every day I wake up and I see the children, the students of the school. I am always thinking of ways to make things even better, even more, give them enough to do, enough to challenge them, enough to get them thinking. So we constantly are searching for ways to improve.
Right.
In fact, at Temple, it's a culture of continuous improvement. It's a culture of continuous improvement. And then because Temple School is an all-inclusive school, we have a big department of the school that is dedicated to the exceptional learners, the people they call the special needs students.
Right.
So it's a big department in Temple School. Yes. We have almost over 60 students who are in that department, ranging from Down syndrome to autism, ADHD, different developmental needs that they have. So that department also stirs my spirit and makes me want to, what more can we do? How else can we do better? How can we improve the lives of these children? So those things just keep me going.
So why the name Temple? I was going to ask that and I forgot. What's the background to the name Temple?
Actually, when yes, I get a lot of that question. Parents or people will ask. But you see, when we were going to register the school, and I sat with my husband and I said, so what do we call the school? I was expecting to hear something about roses or flowers or blooming or something. And he said, Temple. I said, Temple. He said, yes, I just want a connection with God. Something that connects us. And he says that we are the temple of the living God. So this temple is going to be a temple where God himself will dwell in. Because he said in his word, Solomon said to him that he was putting his name in this temple, and if anyone prays in that temple, God will hear and answer. And so that was what informed his decision to call it temple. And initially I said, people will think, there's so many other temples, people will think this temple or that temple. He said, never mind what people think. What is it for you? What have you set it up to be? I said, it's a temple of the living God. He said, that's what.
Beautiful. Do you have mentees? Or mentors? I'm one.
I was going to say
let me make it official now, so that you won't deny that you are not my mentor. It's an informal arrangement.
Honestly, I get people who say that to me. Some people would say to me, you're my mentor, Mrs Okharedia. I love what you're doing. I want you to just guide me. I want to do this. I want to continue. I want to start or continue. and I get a lot of that. But for me, specifically, the people I have set out to mentor my children and my team. My children and my team are the ones I deliberately, intentionally look out for. And so, which is also why I speak with them twice every week. I said to you, I came very early this morning. It was also part of my mentoring. 6 to 7 in the primary school, 6 to 7 in the secondary school. And the staff come. I want to tell them what it is. You don't just wish to be like someone or achieve. So you have to know what drives the person, what they are doing, not just because they are saying it, but you also have to observe. So we do a lot of that every week. And so those are the people I deliberately mentor, my children and the staff.
So what don't you like? I think I already know what you like. What don't you like? What do you dislike? Like I say, if someone says, Shirley, hey, Daddy, no, don't even try. She doesn't like that. So what do you as a matter of fact, dislike?
What don't I like? If I look at it as a school, from this perspective of my work, what is it that I would rather have less of? I can't avoid, but I will have less of the interference of parents. I find that with parents, you have to manage their influence. If you manage the influence of parents, you're going to get along very well with them. But it's when the influence is not managed, then you're going to have them come in different places. You really don't want them to, come in. And so Temple School started something called the TP3. So this TP3 has helped us manage the relationship with parents. TP3 is Temple Parent Partnership Program. This Temple Parent Partnership Program helped us, or has helped us, and is helping us to manage the relationship we have with parents. Because that used to be a problem. Parents wanted to get involved, but they didn't know how. Sometimes they would get involved and get in the way. So
they don't know that.
They don't know that because for them it's no, we want to see this happen, we want this change, or we want this. And so for the longest time I kept thinking, how can we get there? Because I know that the parents have a lot to offer the school. And so they're stakeholders, and they have a lot that they even they passionately want to share with the school. So when we started this Temple Parent Partnership Program, what we do is once a week, we allow this TP3 parents who have volunteered, they come in for an hour every week.
Wow, okay.
All through the year. They've done that now for 7 years. They come in and they go into all the classrooms and they teach the children all the life skills, soft skills, life skills that we tell them about, but hearing it from their parents. It is the same thing said, but it's an awesome program that we have. And they come in, and so letting them come in also tells them we're not hiding anything. Because a lot of schools keep them away. And it makes them think, why are you hiding? What are you hiding? So for them, they come in, they talk to the children, they interact with them. They help us, to also hear the hearts of the children. Things they cannot probably tell the school, they will tell these parents, and the parents will come back and share those things with us. When they share it with us, we brainstorm on how to handle it, and that has really allayed the fears of the parents. They're no longer worried about, what's going on, my child is with you, They are welcome to come into any part
and
of the school.
They
are impacting positively in the school. So that has worked for us.
Program. Let me go now before we go on the next break. I would say with the growth that Temple has had over the years, it's been successful. It's been amazing, it's been awesome. What would you say is your definition of success? And as a leader, what are some of the qualities, personal qualities you think a leader should have?
What is my definition of success? I'll say my definition of success is when I see the products, our students. When you take a child that is struggling academically and you see that child 2, 3, 4 years down the line doing very well in school, that for me is success. Parents would send us children from places like, they would send us children from England, they would send us children from America, they would send us children from South Africa, and they would say, this child has been expelled from this school, this child is on his or her last chance. This is the third school, the fourth school abroad, and we're giving up. Please, what can you do? So receiving those children, mentoring them, teaching them, guiding them, helping them to see that they are worth more than they are showing their parents. You find that over time, we've had children, a particular child that the mother said, I think this boy is just going to be a gardener at home. And I have given up, this child has messed up everywhere. That child ended up school valedictorian.
Wow.
That for me is success. Just because the child came in and he too knew I'm at the end of my role. There is nowhere else outside of here. And here he found love, he found acceptance, he found patience, perseverance, commitment to him succeeding. And he didn't waste time in grabbing that opportunity. And honestly, he went from being the one that was mentored to the one who was now mentored. That's successful.
Beautiful. And qualities in the leaders? For you?
For me, what are the qualities? You have to be committed. A leader must be committed. You cannot give up when others are giving up. You have to, because life will throw challenges that will make you want to give up. So you have to be committed to that thing you say you want to do. You have to persevere. You have to persevere. And you have to love it. You have to love what you do. You cannot mentor people when you are sad about what you're doing. You cannot even be successful when you're not happy with what you're doing. So you have to love what you're doing. You have to be happy doing it. So once you have that commitment and you persevere through all the challenges, and the love for what you're doing is there in your heart, and it shows in all you do, I think a leader is going to win.
Wow. Okay, we will be right back. There's just so much in there. And I know we're going to probably run out of time, but it's okay. It's good. This is Impact Africa. We'll be right back. Wow, my dear sister, Temple connecting with the living God, that name, the people you surrounded yourself with, the people you're working with, the people you're deliberately, mentoring, like you said, and your definition of what success is for you, just powerful. Now I want to ask you, what are some of the key lessons that you feel you've personally gained as an educator? Like you said earlier on, when you had no clue, you were advised, a teacher somewhere, and people used to put generator on, girls is coming, do your work, but now you went through all that and having, loving, supportive husband, and everybody that's been a village, I would call it, or a tribe for you, or as we say in South Africa, Ubuntu, So you have all that, working for you, and along the way, I'm sure there'll be days where probably you go, what did I get myself into? But there will be days, more days of, right, I'm passionate about this, I'm doing this. What are some of the key lessons that you can share with us that will help a younger Shirley somewhere in Akwa Ibom that will say, okay, I've seen a need, I want to start a school, or just become an entrepreneur, or whatever. What are some of the key lessons, for a young business to start up their own business or to become an educator?
To start up their business or to be a young educator, I would say, first of all, the thought of it alone, wanting to be an educator, has to come from somewhere. You must have a love for it. You have to want to. So you don't go into what you don't love. So that passion, that love will sustain you through the hard times. So you have to love what you want to get into. Don't be afraid to start.
Right.
Sometimes it looks as if it is daunting. The policies, the financial aspect of it, you think, how will I ever get around to being a world-class school or business? Don't let that deter you. Just remember, you can start small. In fact, you're better off, you are best when you start small. When you are hands-on, don't delegate too many things. If you delegate too many things, you run into trouble when those people are not there. One thing I had going for me was I did everything. I opened the gates, so I was a gate man at the time. I drove the school bus, our first school bus, a highest bus, 15-seater highest bus. I would drive it to pick children from school. And so when we got a driver, there was no way the driver could call my dad. When we started giving school lunch, I cooked it in my kitchen. I would wake up as early as 3 a.m. and I would cook and get the food ready for these children. So I did everything. I would be the first to get to work, I would be the last to go home. And so there was absolutely, and because I had already worked as a teacher, I knew what I wanted. I had been in a world-class school, so I knew that I couldn't do less. So subject yourself to training. Don't jump into something that you are not trained for. Go and gain enough experience outside. Let someone mentor you. Sit under a good leader and watch. Any task, any assignment they give to you, do it. Regardless, it will come in handy. I always tell people, we all walk around with a bag, an invisible bag, called a bag of experience. No matter what it is you face, no matter that task you get to do, it goes into your bag of experience. If it made you cry, it will go in there. If you did not if you enjoyed it, it will go in there. So because you're going to pull out of that bag the experiences that you need, lessons you've learned that you would use to navigate through the rest of your journey. So no experience is wasted. Subject yourself to that training. Go through it for a period, and whilst you're doing it, you're putting down all the things you need to prepare and get ready. Go for trainings. Don't rely on just your experience, because your mentor might be limited. As good as that person is, they might be limited. So subject yourself to training. Thankfully now there's so much out there. So as you subject yourself to training, as you prepare and plan, I tell you, when you start, it will be smooth sailing.
That's deep. Whew, I wanted to, you saw me right in there. I'm like, this is a master class. And I think I actually was remembering some of what I was discussing as well on the way here with my cousin's nephew, as I'll call him, so it's all that, as well. So, wow. Let me now go to my final question, and I know we've run out of time, but my final question is, I know obviously you're already meeting a need in terms of education and a social issue, you're meeting that. What social issue, apart from things related to education, in that, like that you're doing, are you passionate about, or would you like to see somebody, do something about it? So that's one. But then I want you to come up with, what are some of the solutions to that problem? Social issues like teenage pregnancy, crime, I don't know, I don't want to put it out there, but I'm sure there's something maybe you're passionate, about, or you are already doing, or would love to, or would you want others to do?
One thing that bothers me, and if I had more opportunities, financial, I would probably try and do something about. It is the young people of Nigeria, the youth. I see potential, talent, creativity just wasting away. I know that the youth of this nation are intelligent. They are creative. They have the capacity to succeed. It hurts me when I see them doing less than what I know they're capable of doing. I weep when I see young people, able-bodied, running with pure water on the streets of Lagos to sell, to make money, when I know that this one just needs a little brushing up here and there, and they will be a strong workforce for this country. So that is what ails my heart when I think about my nation, when I think of one area that I would love to impact positively. It is youth and innovation. I want to see them be everything that they want to be and more. Because when we talk about the vices, it is because they are not challenged enough. They are not given enough to do. They are not given enough room to grow. They are not given the chance to succeed. We box them up and say they are not succeeding. We deprive them of training and we say they are not succeeding. They are lazy youth or whatever. No, these children, youth of Nigeria, regardless of where they are located, whether in the northernmost part of Nigeria to the southernmost part, every youth in this world, actually, they are capable of so much more, and Africa is not doing right by them.
So what are the solutions?
I think that Nigeria, for one, should go into production. See, when we go into production, we create jobs. They need to work. They need to have a source of income. You see, these young people don't even like being dependent on their parents. That is one thing that frustrates them. So when they have something to do and they're earning their own money, first they're going to get off the streets, get off drugs, get off all the vices that we're accusing them of. They will become useful to themselves, their families, and the nation. So yes, we have to change and become a productive nation, a nation that begins to set up industries, grow the modern industries, technology, science, develop in so many other ways that we know we're capable of. Because we go out of this country and we're hired in big companies, yes, blue chip companies hire us to do awesome things for them. Why not here? Why not here? So that is what I think we can do.
My dear sister Shirley, I salute you. I celebrate you. I honor you. I see you. You are doing so much in even the lives of those you have been entrusted with at the moment. The ones since 2004, the ones before 2004, for, in terms of you teaching, in all the schools that you've taught in. And I know her as well. And you probably wouldn't like me saying this, but I'll say it. I know how you give. I know how you give, through to just others. And that's the one I know. Based on, you hear, this school, or a teacher, former teacher, or this, you were like, I'll give this, I'll support this. Thank you. That's the one I know. I don't know what I do. So, and I know for me, when we do programs like this, I always say it's about how your story, and I love how you took it down to, you used to stand at the gate.
Yes.
You used to drive the bus.
Yes.
You used to cook.
Yes.
You probably used to clean.
Yes. Oh, yes. Oh, absolutely. Who would sweep
Toilets.
Who would wash the toilets? Yes. Yes.
So how, all that has helped you to become who you are. And how that will encourage some of our young ones. Yes, we have young ones sometimes who want instant gratification. So I'm hoping your story, you sharing that story, would help. Even if it's one young person. In Surulere, in Kalita, in South Africa where I come from, the township there, in Malawi, wherever that you want to watch this. For me, that is what this program is about. So thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for allowing us to hear some of, your story. And I actually want to come back. I always want to hear more. I'm able. So I want to hear more. And when I say I want to hear more, not just from you, maybe from your learner. So if you don't mind, can I have an open invitation?
Absolutely.
For whenever we want to come back.
Anytime.
To hear the story from your learner, from one of your stakeholder or anyone, your teacher, somebody who's been with you. So we will want to continue that story, to hear that story. Temple ambassadors, what they're doing, how they're doing, how they're helping to solve problems, how they're helping to develop Nigeria, how they're helping to develop Africa as a continent, and the world at large. Because like you said, our people are everywhere. And it starts from the seed, which is sown. So I salute you. Kudos to you. I pray that God that you serve and that you said is about the relationship with Him for you continues to lift you up, to give you the health that you need, the strength that you need, the grace that you need, the wisdom to manage different aspects of your stakeholders, from the children to the parents, grandparents, even neighbors, and even the government, in terms of regulations, rules, needs, and so on. And God will keep lifting you. And thank God for the partner He has given you, Mr. Robert, and your children as well, because they give of you to others, and your grandchildren give of you. Thank you for what you do. So in closing, I always do this. I want you to speak a word of, I know all what you've said has been words of encouragement, words of advice, and so many nuggets, in there. But I want you now, whoever you want to speak to directly, to please look in that camera and speak to them and give them anyone you want to speak to. I don't know whoever you want to speak to, please.
I want to speak to you, my sisters. I want to speak to the women. Sometimes our community, our culture, our tradition limits us, and we think we cannot succeed at something bigger than what we're doing. I'm here to assure you that as long as you're committed to whatever you decide you want to do, stay there, stay with it. Your first assignment, if you are married, your first assignment is to your home. If you're single, the first assignment is to yourself and to your family. Focus. Stay the course of the training and the difficult times that will come as you plan to grow. I tell you, it will pay off in the end. I want you to succeed, because when the woman is succeeding, the home too is succeeding, the community will succeed, and the children above all, they will be strengthened and they too will succeed. So to my fellow women, I wish you well, and I know that your turn will come with Mama K. She will come and interview you too, just to let the world see that you're succeeding too.
But I salute you, as I said. Powerful word. I love what you said. Bag of experience.
Yes.
Stay the course.
Yes.
You heard my dear sister here. Yes. Opela. We are finished. We are not finished. But like she said, you never know. It might be you back here. So till next time, stay safe, stay blessed. This is Mama K signing off with Shirley Okharedia, all the way from Lagos.
Nigeria.
Take
Bye-bye.
care. God bless. Bye-bye.